Welcome back, guitar players. Today, I'm going to show you how to play nothing. Music is made up of sound. And sometimes in music, you make a sound, and sometimes you don't make a sound. Most of the time, when you don't make a sound, it's referred to as a rest. So there are notes, and there are rests. So you might have here are the gaps, okay? Sometimes the nothing is just simply nothing new. So you might hold a chord. And then you blast back into a strumming pattern. But then there's these long chords. So there's nothing new. Well, that's still nothing. All right. So here's probably the most basic nothing there is, and that is not a note sound, but a rhythm sound. Okay. So here we go. It goes like this. Hear the chops in there? That right there. That's what we're going to talk about right now. Okay, now how to accomplish that is I'm playing a chord down here, but I don't change it. Nothing happens in your left hand at this point. That'll come later in the lesson, all right? But what I'm doing is with the right hand, I'm going to spin around so you can see this, okay? I am actually taking my hand and laying this part of the hand down on the strings first, and then chopping across the strings after it. So I've got to hit this first, but it happens almost instantaneously, so that it sounds like it's exactly the same time, but it really isn't, okay? It's just kind of like a strum. If you strum this, no matter how fast you strum it, you can't be here and here at the same time. That's just not possible. So the strum is this sped up or slowed down or whatever, and it takes time to get from here to there. Well, it takes time to set this up. It's a split second to do that. So you kind of have to know it's coming, and you just lay your hand a little bit down in here. You don't want to change too much of the position, and really the pick doesn't change position at all. It's just the inside of the hand. So you strum, you lay the finger down, you get ready to do this. Okay, try that with me. Strum, I'm on a G chord by the way. Strum, and then mute. And it's called a mute strum because you're muting the sound of the chord. That's brilliant, huh? Anyway, I don't know who thinks these things up, who gets to name all these things, but that's what it is. Okay, so here's the... So let's just do that a couple of times in a row. We're going to go chord, mute, chord, mute, chord, mute, and about that rhythm. 1, 2, 3, go. Chord, mute, chord, mute, chord, mute, chord, mute. Get used to the sound and the feel of it. That's the most important thing. The fact that you're going to do this, you may or may not be able to swing the pick all the way through all the strings when you're doing this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you're going to hit something, and that isn't a whole lot different than that. I just hit all 6 strings. The first time I hit about 4. It doesn't matter as long as you get the chop in there, that click. All right. So here's the other thing. You expand the strumming. Let's say we're going to double strum. Remember the double strum? Down, up, down, up, down, up, and you're not hitting all the strings on the way back up. And here comes the mute mixed in with this, right? Down and mute, down and mute. Okay, try that with me. Again, I'm on a G chord. Down and mute. And that upstroke is just that simple motion of the pick coming up, hitting whatever strings it hits. The pick doesn't change. Hear that? I'm only hitting like 2 strings that time. That time I hit 3. But it doesn't matter. It's just the motion up. And then there's that mute, and it brought in the hand. Once you get that down, then you have to recover from this, okay? So that you've got See how it, now that chop's got to be a little bit more definite if you want to come up. See what I mean? And wherever this is, that's where you come up. And if you don't hit all 6 strings, you just come up wherever you are. Now that time I started back up on the 2nd string because that's where the pick was. See, I'm not really concerned with hitting one particular spot every single time. It's wherever your pick is. You take advantage of what's there, okay? And that actually has a lot to do with guitar playing at all. You take advantage of where everything is at the particular time. All right, so now that is the right hand mute strum. And this will fit in with a whole bunch of rhythms. You can do it in 3/4 or 4/4 or any 4 you want. And it doesn't really much matter what time signature you're in. Now I'm adding a little bit of kind of a hiccup in there in the rhythm, but still, the mute strum is a down strum. You don't. There's no way to mute that because your hand's going in the wrong direction. The mute strum is a down strum. Okay? Play with it. See what you come up with. Work it in. Try it on songs like Proud Mary or Brown Eyed Girl. Hear that? Now that's down, up, mute, down on the C and A, okay? See, that's how you work that into that. And it works with a whole bunch of songs. As you listen, you're going to hear a lot of people using that. All right, let's skip over to the left hand. Now, the left hand mute is slightly different, and you usually use it because a certain chord pattern kind of requires it or allows you to do it. Now, I'm going to throw in a bar chord here, and if you're up on bar chords, maybe you've heard this. And there's that mute strum. But there's another way to do it. I'm just going to change chords and say, okay. Now see, what I'm doing is I'm just dropping my hand across the strings. Well, if you're on an open chord, and that means a chord with any open notes in it, it's really hard to do. So the best way to do a mute strum when you have an open chord is the right hand mute strum. If you're on a bar chord, I get exactly the same effect, and I didn't use the right hand mute. So how in the world am I doing that? Doesn't even look like I'm moving. See if I can show this to you, okay? Watch the pressure of this left hand. See the difference? There I'm pressing, there I'm not. And I just, you can see it kind of ease up. Now I'm laying my hands, I've got my fingers on all the strings that they were. I don't lose the position, and that's really important. Don't lose the position. You might get some sound, but you know, in the great wash of things, nobody's going to hear that or be bothered by it. See what I just did? I did left hand mute, went to the right hand mute because I'm on an open chord. Now, getting these two to work together, all of a sudden you're down here, you're muting down here, you're muting here, is just a matter of using it, and using it again, and getting used to it. Making it your own, making it easier because it becomes more natural. And it becomes more natural because you use it a lot. Listen, listen, listen for songs that use this mute strum, okay? This one and that one. Now, yes, they are different. And the funny thing is that the further up the neck you are, the sound down here and the sound here, hear that? It's higher. It's higher. And that is because you're engaging less of the string. down here, you've got this whole stretch of strings that are going to vibrate in between your mute and the bridge. Okay, but down here, you have a much shorter stretch of strings, and the idea of shortening the strings is exactly why this note is higher than that note, because I have essentially shortened the string. I am now playing from here to here instead of from here to here. Okay? Any note is going to shorten the string, which just causes the pitch. But with the mute, you have a higher mute sound up here than you do down here. As you can combine the two. If you had to do a lot of strumming on just mute and you wanted to play just rhythm, rhythm, right? Okay, that's just goof stuff. Anyway, but you can play around with that and just see what you come up with, okay? Experiment with it. And as I'm going to tell you the same thing I always tell you, keep playing and have fun with it. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time.